Hi there. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to install and use controlNet. With controlNet, you can generate images like that, like this one. So we can start from an image or for a text to image prompt, and then kind of we can apply a mask and get something a little bit more refined, like in this case. So everything is done using controlNet, and I have to say that controlNet blew my mind. So previously I was using another approach to do something similar to this kind of, I was using style transfer, but controlNet completely changed my workflow. So let's address how to install and then some basic tutorial, but there is a lot to talk about controlNet. So let's go into business. Okay, so let's address how to install controlNet. And very important, to install controlNet or the graphical user interface, we need Automatic1111. And to show you here, the user interface is this one. And within Automatic1111, we can get access to controlNet here, but you need to have the web interface installed. So here you have the link in the video description. You have it also, but this is not the web interface, so be careful that. But that this is just the library. Okay, and I invite you just to read this because you have very good help here. Where you have the web interface is another link that you have it here, and I already have it here. So here you have the instructions, and I will show you how to do it. It's very straightforward. But before doing that, let me show you what you can do with controlNet. So we talk about that this is going to give you more control over your images. So for instance, you can do stuff like this, that you have an image and you can get the pose, and then using this information, you can generate another image on top and a lot of things here. So look at that, you have many different approaches, okay, of the functions that you have there implemented. So it's incredibly powerful, this in here. Okay, you have a small description of all the preprocessors and models that you can use to manipulate your images. So without further ado, let's go into the installation. So the first thing is that you need to launch Automatic1111. So here I have this one. This is the one that I'm working with you guys with the previous video. So this one is a clean one. So remember that if you want to update your installation, double click there, and if there are some updates, you're going to have it there. So there were a few updates, and then click and run back, and this is going to launch Automatic1111 with the settings that we have so far and the extensions that we have so far. So let's wait for this to load. Okay, so at this point we have Automatic1111. It is the classic interface, nothing has changed, but we need to add now the new extension, which is the one for controlNet. So if you go here into extensions, let's revisit here, then go into available, just to mention that these are the extensions that I have so far. So these are built in with your standard installation, and then you can add more extensions. So let's add a few extensions. So let me go here. Let me load this one. So in this file, you have a database of all the extensions, and you can look for extensions. So we want controlNet. So you type there controlNet, and controlNet should be, let's see, where do we have that one? So you have, is this one here, controlNet manipulation. So let me install this one, and you click there, you have the preprocessor, and it's going to install data extensions. And let's wait until finish just to show you where those extensions are visible. But let's see that we have a few other things that for the moment, if you want, you can install or click, you can click there and see what happens, what does it do. So this is another, let's say, filter for controlNet, and this one will get the depth and kind of a mask that you can apply. So it's up to you. Now that I have it there, and let me go here, and you go into extensions, and here you see that you have the new installation, and look at that, you have the models here, and here's where you're going to put your models. You can also put actually you can also put your models here, models in the standard one, and I think the difference it is that is you put it inside the extension, it will automatically update if there is an update in the extension, and if you have it outside, you need to do it manually. I think now for reading all the files. I think that is the main difference, but it doesn't matter. You can put it whatever you want. So I put controlNet, and then there are a few libraries we talk about that you can put like aspect ratio. This is a helpful one that you're going to have. You can have aspect ratio there. So let me install that one also. Aspect ratio selector, and there is one Canvas that this is important. Canvas soon. Install this one, and later I'm going to show you why. Sometimes it might happen, sometimes it might not. So this is going to give you some more access to the canvas when you are uh, writing or sketching something, and then you can have later we're going to do some QR codes, so if you want you can install that, but for the moment this is okay. So I installed those libraries, and as you go here into install, you see that you have the models. To start using those models, you need to restart your user interface, so just click here, and it will take a while. Sometimes you do this one and it's not going to load the library, so I prefer to close everything and then launch everything again. So let's see what happens in this case. Okay, so here I have my user interface and see that now I have access to controlNet. So something important that sometimes it takes time, to when you reload. So when you go here and apply this restart, sometimes takes time, and sometimes kind of is stalled. So it's probably better to close everything and relaunch. So in this case, for me, it was taking too long, so I close everything. I close here the terminal and also this one, and I relaunch. So you see that now you have controlNet there, and if for any reason you want to update these extensions that you have there, just check for updates, and if you have updates, then you will click there. So in this case, everything we have it here, and see that we have our controlNet installed, but this is not everything. So now you click here and you will get access to all the options in controlNet, but so far we're missing models. So we have what they call preprocessor. So you take an image, so like extracting the pose or extracting some contour or segmentation, you have it there already, but we're missing the models. So like remember that you have Civit AI, so all the models you have here. So to get the models, always here you will have the information where do you have the models. So usually everything is located in Hugging Face. So here I already have it. So you have two models here. Okay, you have the model for Stable Diffusion 1.5 and the models for Stable Diffusion XL. So this is still a little bit on the work, so you don't have everything, but it's the one you can install then. Or I recommend you to play around at the beginning with 1.5 that is well tested. So here you have all these files. It's up to you if you want to install everything. So each one corresponds to a different preprocessor or mask or annotator, I think they call it also. So it's up to you to install. So just download everything or the ones that you want. So you have to remember that these files are large. Okay, so depending of your space in your system, you can download everything or just install whatever you need. So here, let me go on download Openpose. Okay, you also the jam file. Let me also download what else? Can is another helpful. Let me click there. Dev is also helpful, and tile also. I will use it later. So as you see, this I downloaded quite a lot information. Scribble also, I will use this one later, and those are all the models that I'm going to use. So when you download those models. Okay, let me see what it says. Okay, downloaded everything. Let me go back. You download those models, and for the and the same as for the models, yeah, that you can get for Civil AI or whatever. You can put it here. So see that you have the folder controlNet, or these specific ones that are related to controlNet, I prefer to put it here in extensions. So as you go into extensions, your controlNet extension, and here you have the models, you can put everything there. So you put the model, the PTH file. Now this is the train model, and also you can put the jump file. So I read that it's not needed, but I like to put everything. So there, like you have the default configuration and so on. Okay, so here let's wait while I download everything, and then we move to the next step. Okay, so in this case, I finish downloading the files, and let me show you now what you need to do now. So download, get all those files, and put it here in models. So copy and paste, and remember that this takes a lot of space, and you have your models there. In this case, I put it here directly in extensions, but remember that you can put it there also in models. So what we did is that those models, okay, and let me go back to my user interface. So now here I click and refresh and see that now I have access to the model. So my preprocessor, my mask or the annotator, and then the models. So what are those models? So as you go back to the documentation, basically what is happening, so controlNet is this application that is going to give you more control over the images. So you can do your text to image prompt or image to image, but if you want to have more control, you're going to apply this, I like to call it is a mask. So look at that, your original image, apply this mask. This mask is going to extract this figure, kind of the depth you have there, depth, and then you can build on top of this anything you want. So this, using this specific annotator or preprocessor or mask, then we have this one getting the normals, then you have another example. So as you see, it's extremely powerful. Okay, generating, sometimes controlling your images like the poses is quite tricky. So canny filter, another filter here. Then you have this one, it's quite nice, the scribble, that you get an image, or you can do your doodle, now drawing your sketch, and then on top of this sketch you can build your image. Just put your prompt, and then controlNet is going to enforce to get something now in this shape. Look at this, is super cool there, very nice. And many more segmentation and so on. And this is also another one, very powerful, Openpose, so you can get a photo, an image, whatever, or even a video, and you get frame by frame, you can extract the pose, and then you can construct your image. So look at that, we have this one, extract the pose, and there are different levels of the details that you can extract. Okay, so read the documentation here. You have there are a lot of model filters, preprocessors, and there are many also people working on this and developing new options, new ways to work using controlNet. So now that we have that and we have an idea what we're doing, I think pretty much you access everything there and we're done. So the 3 steps are very easy. You have to be sure that you have it Automatic1111. Install the wet interface here in extensions, and then when after you install the web interface, download the models. You get the models as user for Hugging Face. So you have models for Stable Diffusion 1.5, for XL, and there are many contributions from the community. Also in Civic AAA, you have some models, so it's up to you. So you download those models, and then you can put everything. I like to put those models specific to controlNet. You go here and in models, and that's all. So now that we have the installation, we can start to use it. So let's play around with controlNet. So let's play with controlNet. So to be sure that you have it installed, you need to have controlNet there, and then you go here, refresh, and then you see the models, you are okay to go, at least for the simple tutorials that we're going to do. So at this point, something also very important, read, just to stress this one, read a little bit this README file here, this documentation, because there are some limitations. So what we're going to do, it works with Stable Diffusion 1.5, but for instance, if you want to use, I don't have it here, but you have, for instance, the Juggernaut XL or something more advanced, you need to use the model appropriate for that specific extension checkpoint. So you need to have compatibility. Be careful about that. So here we're in the in the base model, and let's do something. I want to have a man running in the jungle. I'm not going to be very specific. You can put some negative words, and let me increase a little bit the resolution here. You also resolution have influence in your final results. So let me go increase, and I will click generate, and this should be something fast. There you go. We have a result, quite cool. So yeah, look at that. We have something a little bit deformed there. We have like too many hands. Well, the hands are deformed. So we can go ahead and add some negative prompts. So let me see, and or this one you can go generate another one to get something right, but probably likely you will get more strange shapes. And let me go here, some prompts, and look at that. I have this one's here. So let me put there. I put it there, and let's see what happens now. Okay, so we have this, and we have this figure. Let me get another one. So actually, I like it. The first one, it was frontal. Okay, this one seems to be nice. Now from the back, and then a little bit strange there, that leg. So this seems to be decent. No, but I want something frontal, and go. Let me see. Okay, well, I don't want to try anymore. I have this one. So you have this image, and let's do something to use controlNet. So we're working text to image. Okay, so you're happy with this one, drop it here. This will be your image. So remember that you need to span controlNet, put it here, then enable controlNet, use these options. And now let's say that I would like to get the pose here that we have. So here we have preprocessors, and this is the specific Openpose. So there is the Openpose full bands. We want this one, which is the fast one. And then if you click here, this explode button, it's going to extract the pose here, that person running. So let's see what happens. Sometimes it will take, I think here is downloading something. So yes, it's downloading some extensions. So see that you have to be careful that, or if you see that it's slow, it might be the case that it is downloading many files. So in this case, it is downloading more information. And look at that. There you go. Extracted the pose. So very cool. And you can click there, edit, and see that you get the position. And this is the idea. And all the other masks and filters will do the same. So now that we have that position, we're applying controlNet. We didn't do any modeling. We just pre-processed to see the pose. Now let's use a model. So it's an Openpose model. And instead of a man running, let me say here, a woman running in the jungle. So pretty much the same. But now we're enforcing just to follow that pose. So click generate, enable, allow preview. And here later we talk about this control weight. This is how close you want it to this input. So closer to 1 would be very, 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 very close. And there you go. So pretty cool. So see that we're enforcing just the pose here, and we change it, and now we have a woman there running in the jungle. And if you play with this one, it will be, so sometimes you hover over some options and you get, in this case, you don't get anything. So 0 is you are not enforcing, 1 is something in between, and 2 you are enforcing a lot. So let me go here and retry with a value of 2. Let's see what happens. And there you go. So now this is much nicer. So you have it there. They still, I don't like that leg there, since a horse leg there. But well, again, you know that everything is about prompt engineering, or you can do some in-painting to fix that. So it's up to you to play. This is the most important option. Later we're going to see that this one, that well, you can go to the README and see what it's doing, but usually 01, it is okay. And that's all. Then probably you can increase here. So let me increase here the steps. Let me see if scale to improve this one. And if you don't know what is that, I address that in another video, but I think I have the images there. So those scales, CFG is controlling this one. So the higher the value, the closer it will be to your prompt. Okay, but if you use values too large, probably you are oversaturated. So usually 7 is the default, maximum 10, 12, but be careful, it's up to you. And then you have different samplers and the steps. So the more steps, the better it will be, but the longer it will be. There are many samplers there. So these images, you can do it here. You have, I mentioned, probably there will be another video about that, but you can do it here. You have scripts and so on. So now that I adjusted something there, let's do this. And there you go. So better auction. So it seems that now is much better. Okay, so you see a big improvement just by changing some options there, and this is much better. It's still a little bit strange that let there, but way much better. So as you see, this is what you are doing. You get incredibly control. So let's do a last experiment here, and let me see. Bigfoot running in the jungle. So pretty much we're taking the pulse, and let's see if our model that we're using will recognize Bigfoot. Okay, so you have it there. Well, pretty much, yeah, it's a man there. So it was a little bit vague as an idea and put something there, but get the point. I hope you get the point that the important stuff here was this one. So at this point, we're done with this case, with this tutorial, and let's move to another interesting case. So we did here text to image, but we also can do image to image. So you, for instance, you can take here, and let's go back. Okay, to this one, a woman running in the jungle. And you can use this image and transfer this image to image, or you can read an external image. It doesn't matter. So let's see what we have here. Okay, so this is a cool, much better. So you can go, for instance, click here, and it will transfer this image to image. And then here in image to image, using an image, you can modify that. And the idea is pretty much the same. But what I'm going to show you here now, let me close that. And here I have some other images. So look at that. I have this one. And this is an actual photo. Okay, nice photo. And what we want to do is pretty much the same. We have the image, and we want to build on top of this one. So let's go. The very important to know the resolution of that image. So here in details, it is 280 720. So when you go in controlNet here, 280 720, you need to have, it's strongly recommended to have similar dimension. And just to show you what will happen if you don't have. So let me put 720 to do a fair test. Let's enable controlNet. You have it there. You put there, and pretty much it will be the same image. Okay, so let me use this and Openpose, and let's extract the image. And there you go. So pretty cool. I extracted the image. So what we're going to do, we use this pose in top of this image to build something new. They don't need to be the same image. You can put something different here or there. It's up to you. In this case, let's use the same image. And we're using Openpose. Let's use the same parameters. And in this case, let's say samurai running Okay, so now I'm thinking in March for whatever reason and generate, and let's see what we get. So basically controlNet, it will try to get the main feature of this image, and then we're enforcing the pose there. And hopefully we're going to get something that makes sense. And yeah, cool. Yeah, I think this is an incredible result. As I told you, this is mind blending. Nothing to. Okay, you have it there. Your samurai kind of Mars for the pictures that we see that the guy from NASA uh, put in online. So, but what I was mentioning is the dimension. So it's important that see that you have a crop geometry. So it's important to use same dimensions, and that will have also an influence in the quality of your image. So pretty much the same. And let's generate. Let's use a random seed to have something different. But if you once you like this one and if you want to fix that one, remember that you can always here fix your seed. And let's see what happens with this one. Okay, this one is much cooler. So we have our samurai there and see that it's following precisely the pose, the legs, very precise. Then, well, Mars kind of they put the architecture, the Japanese architecture, but this is it, and you have it there. Very cool. So let's do something as well here. So as you see this button here, edit, you can edit this pose. So or you can draw a new one. Not necessarily you can put an image. You can do something from scratch. So we have this one. You click. Let me click here, and let me move there, and let me move the arm. So let's do something like the samurai is scared running. So kind of let's do like in the comics, in the cartoons, you see like Scooby-Doo and Shaggy running. They put there in desperation, raise the arms and running like this. So now I change the pole. So you can do whatever you want there, and you can add. So you feel free to play here. You can add a person and so on. So I want to send this new pose to controlNet, and this is my pose. And let's do something. Now let me fix the random numbers to get exactly the same. But now my new image is going to follow now this pose. So the arms will be there. So, and let's go generate. And let's see what's happened. Okay, so we get this result, not very satisfactory. So look at that, it's putting something like, yeah, something robotic there. It's not changing the R. So the likely problem the image, you need to check a little bit. So probably instead of Mars, we can start running in the jungle. Okay, and let's erase those negative prompts and let's see what happens. So sometimes contrast can change things. So it's a little bit, as I have been saying, this prompt engineering is very important here. There you go. You have it there running there. So it still is blending kind of with the trees, the jungles, but this is the idea. Okay. So now it requires much refinement, but there you go. controlNet working. So at this point, feel free to play with these actions, and yeah, I'm quite sure that you are going to waste a lot of time of your life here. So now let's move to another example, and hopefully I think you recall previous cases that I'm using the Apple and Blackboard text hello. So you can get an idea here that by using this one, probably now we can force text because having text is not easy at all. I forgot this one. Let me get so this should be fast. Okay, well, we have it there. We kept the pulse there, put a kind of a baby there. So see that these prompts are baked. So it put a woman, but it was a baby. So you need to say kind of race and ethnicity, height, color, whatever, to make it to be very precise. So see that having text is not easy at all. So let's disable that and let me generate again. So one way to do it here and to show you is that having on a sketch with the text and then you can replace that. So let's do now to have things easy because this can be tricky. So let's put just a large blackboard and with okay, and let's say negative text watermark. Let's see what happens. So I want just to get my blackboard clean. And there you have your blackboard. It's a little bit dirty. You need to erase everything, but let's use this one. I like this one. And let's do something. So we enable here and we have an option here and you have maybe a scribble. So this scribble, actually, let's do better here. Scribble is just to have those sketch, that doodle, you sketch and then you use that. So to do a sketch, let's say that you can go here, click here. So you can do it externally, import the image, but if you want to remain here in the canvas, click there. And now see that you have info, so you can make things larger. So I press S and you can start drawing. So here you can choose the dimension of your pen, and very important. So I don't know, it might happen. Let's see what happened here. So you see that you don't see anything. It's because the color is white. So important. If you don't see this color here, it's because likely you didn't install the canvas soon. So recall that in the beginning installation, I recommend to install canvas soon. So if you don't see this, it's because you are missing canvas soon. Okay, so go back and install that. So let me go here and type. Let me write. Oh, you have it there. And to remind you, you go here and see that I have canvas soon. So usually that you have the palette there include with your canvas soon. So this is what I want to do. I want to use this one to put the text here. Remember that kind of you need to have the same dimensions to locate it there. Let's apply here the preprocessor. So this is what the preprocessor gets with this script. There are many options, so this is probably not a very good result. It will be tricky. So let's see what happens. Generate, and basically I'm using my design seed and so on, and I will enforce this text there. So let's see, maybe it was downloading something. Remember that sometimes it will be very slow. So this is what we get. Not very nice. So it's putting some objects there. So now you have to be more specific. So you say there this. So let's say I don't want objects. See what happens now. And try to force the text. So yeah, it's putting something there to get that. So, but this one is not very robust. So there are many options. It's up to you to play there with those options. But in this case, I think, okay, let me see, preprocessor, that the best one. Okay, let me, I have tile here. Let me select tile. And probably this tile will be the best one. So as I click there, so I see that it's very clear. So likely will work better. And I would use tile model there. So it's very important, the model. So there are different models. And let's see what happens here. So each model, in theory, you can use any of the models that you have available here to get the best result. It's quite tricky, but but look at here that now way much better. So by using this tile, we're enforcing to have the hello text there and see that kind of, you can see that it's written with chalk and that's all. So as you see, more control. And now you can do this, or you can write there, you can get it from an external tool. So very cool. But this ways to put text is not the best way, but now you can get an idea how to add text, which is not easy. You have no idea how tricky is that. So now to end, let's do the last example. And just to show you something is very cool as well. So look at the QR codes. So you can do the same stuff using QR codes. And what is important with QR codes is that they need to be readable. So whatever we're doing here, sometimes they are not very readable, or probably you use, for instance, tile, likely will be readable, but you are losing all the features of the image. So let's try to do something similar. Let me show you something what you can do. So there is a different another model, which is to work with QR code. So look at stuff like this, very cool, very impressive. So you have your QR code, and then you can embed your image there. So in the description, I will put these links. Okay, so not every of these QR codes will work, but okay, it depends on the auctions, but it enforces readability. So another auction, you have your image, everything done using controlNet, and you have this one. So to do this one, I would recommend you, let's download this one. This is the QR code monster. In the description, you have the link, and let's work with this one. So to download here, file versions. And again, you have another more advanced version v2, but let's use the old one. So is the safe tensor. So a little bit now about this notation. When you see safe tensor, it means that it's the reduced library that you cannot retrain. Then you have a full library or a full checkpoint. Those one are very large and you can trace. So safe tensors are reduced, you cannot train, and also they don't contain anything malicious, let's say. So let me download the safe tensor, and let me download this one also, the YAML file. And similar now to the previous one library, you can put it or in the extension or on the main one. I will put this one in the main library. And there are many of these models for QR codes. So sometimes some of them give good results, others give better or worse. So it's up to you to get the best one. But the two I use, I think in my experience, the ones that they give me the best results. So in this case, let me go here and I will put it model, sorry. Here I go, models, controlNet, and I will put it there. I have my two models there. And just to mention that, okay, I'm using this monster, I will use this one, but then you have this one also, I really like this. But also this guy also, they have a few other models, so it's up to you. And yeah, pretty much I think we're done. We can work and reload here, and you should have the model. You see that you have it available here. So this QR code will be something similar to this style that we're using, but the idea is that it's going to merge very well with your image, but and also it will keep the readability of the model. So let me show you. So it's very, very cool. So let's work with this one. Let's say that in this case, let's say that, let me first disable here. And I want to generate, let's say, nebula. I'm feeling kind of now space exploration. We have this samurai in Mars, so let me go now a nebula or a galaxy or whatever. So let's see what we get here. Very important with QR codes, you might be aware that there are some rules for the QR code readability and colors and so on. So be careful about that. But let's say that, yeah, this is cool. Let me, okay, well, it's already fixed there, the random. So let's use this one. So what I want to do, let's close this. I don't need this anymore. And now I have a new image, and that image is this one. So as you recall at the beginning of the video, I show you like clouds and the Wolf Dynamic logo. Pretty much this was the approach. This is the best approach to do merging images and logos within another image. So you go here and you don't want to use any, let me go back all, just pause everything, none. So basically you're doing this. So careful that you have another can be very useful. Invert, sometimes you have black and white, doesn't give you a good contrast. So if you change it, sometimes it just improves. So you have the option there. And as usual, you can play with all the preprocessors. So now let's use this one. And that's also a habit there, and let's see what happens. Generate. So the idea now that we fix the text, or probably we can move also this image to image, so it's pretty much the same. But I'm going to try to enforce this QR code in this one. And let's see what we have here. Not getting there, but actually didn't do anything because I forgot the enable there. So remember to enable. And let's see what happens now. And there you go. It's getting there. Fantastic. To know if it is real or no, yep, take your portal phone and try to scan that. And yeah, let's see, for instance, you can increase this value. So let's use 17 and also 30. Let's go 40 and 12 here to get more fidelity. Remember that QR codes also you have many details, so it's a good idea also to have high resolution. So the default one, 512, usually is not a good one, so you can increase 720, probably it's acceptable, marginal, but you get higher, might be much better. So let me go here and go crazy 1.85, and let's see what happens with this. And as you can see, it's get better, but this is still not the evolution. We don't know the final result, and we're getting there. Okay, so as you can see now, we get this result. Let me click there. So this is the idea. Now try to keep your background image and then embed that QR code. And to show you also, let's go back to the original image. So this is let me click there. So we're working in text to image, and if you want, you can move this image. You can save it and then reopen there, or you can click here to directly move that image. So maybe you see things are working, but it's not this easy. Can be quite tricky. You need also sometimes you need to use auto scaling to improve things and so on. Okay, so let's close this one. Preprocessor view. I don't want any more of that. So let me put it there. Okay. So I have a nebula, the image there, and I want to show you a new option that you have here, preprocessor, load control image. Okay, let's see. Okay, we have the image there. We took that none, it's okay. I want to use the QR code there. And here there is a difference with the text to image that now you have this new parameter here, denoising. Denoising is basically to make it easier to understand. This is the fantasy that you will give to the model. So the closer to one, okay, or it's between 0 and 1. So 0 means that exactly the same image, and 1 means it will be very, very different to this image. Okay, so it's up to you. So let me put 85 there. And let me disable this one to show you what happens. So this image, we have our parameters there, and we're adding this denoising, and you will see that we're going to get something different. If you put it 0, you're going to see that you're going to get exactly the same image. So you can play with those parameters. There is also an influence with resolution and so on. So let me enable now this. Let me go to 1.5, and let's see what happens with this one here now. So usually when doing these QR codes, this stuff for logos, it's better to have more, to work in image to image. You can have more control. Now you have this denoising denoising option that you don't have in text to image, but then there also with the prompt you can play and get something similar. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere here. And there you go. We have this, so probably would be better to enforce this one to 1.9. And let's see that what happens here. Okay, so we have this image, so it's getting there. Nice, might work, might not work, but let me do something that depend on your final goal also. So if you are not interested, if you're not working with QR codes and you're putting there a logo, whatever, it's okay. But if you're working with QR codes where readability is important, so generate a few images and then test it with your QR code reader. Okay, so after a while, some trial and error, you can get your images. So here I play a little bit with the images and I got, as I say, it's a good idea just to create 4 or 6 or 8 at the same time because it might be the case that not all of them are readable for using your QR code. So the image is perfect, but then the issue will be if you can read it. So we have all these images and well, the parameters here, the noise, the CFG scale, the resolution is important. And look at that, this image. We have a lot of details, so it's better to increase that resolution. Sometimes can be also tricky to get the perfect image. So there are techniques that you can use. For instance, you can go and use upscaling and apply some upscaling to this image to get better resolution. So later we're going to look that. So you have those options here, resize and so on. And here also we increase the color weight. So now let me just check all these images with my reader. Hopefully I will give you also the video. And let me start recording. Okay, so now we have the recording with my phone, just checking the QR code. So here I'm checking the matrix. So that one in the top is working, that one in the bottom also. And let's see here if I zoom, that one is working. So sometimes it's tricky to get them working here. So it's better to check not the individuals one. So that one there. So all these are pointing to our web page. So let's see if, okay, so this is always important, but this is just if for you readability now to have the proper QR code. And there you have it working and open link. And it's working okay. So yep, this is how we work here. And at this point, pretty much where we were done. So I hope you get an idea. And just to end here to show with the same image here and to do this stuff with the logo. So it's not only the QR code. Let me go here. I put my logo there. And if I click here, I should have my Walls Dynamic logo there. So in this case for us, it's not important the readability for the QR code. So we don't need to do a lot of trial and test to get the right parameters. Just usually the first time you first trial, you get good results. Okay, so I hope you got a good idea how to use controlNet. As you see, it's very powerful. And before ending here, let me show you one impressive video. Everything done with controlNet. So I hope you remember the 80s or 90s. So look at this video. Everything done controlNet. And you are also invited to stop the video at any frame, and you will see that it's not transparency, it's actual images generated using controlNet to get the exactly the same sequence. So hope you enjoy and see you next time.